guys, it's Tom here from Mobile DJ Tech Tips UK, and today I'm going to be showing you how I mapped my Pioneer DDJ-S1 to Rekordbox DJ. Now, I also own another controller by Pioneer which came bundled with Rekordbox DJ, so I do have the Pro Edition, but this works with the Rekordbox Free Trial Edition. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. Okay, so as you can see, I've got the Pioneer DDJ-S1 by Pioneer set up in front of me, and you can also see that I've got it set up with Rekordbox DJ. So obviously with any mapping, the jog wheels, as you can see, are not going to work. Obviously it detects, as you can see on deck A, when I move the jog wheel and then I actually press down on it, the blue ring actually lights up and it goes off. But the jog wheel doesn't actually move itself. It detects that there's something there, but it doesn't actually do anything. The jog wheel functions do not work. I've tried every mapping scenario that I possibly can. When it actually comes to the mapping, the jog wheels come up as a MIDI code that's already pre-assigned to something else, and I've checked through all of the functions, but I can't seem to find out what the mapping code is, and I've gone through it days upon days. So the mapping works 100% apart from the jog wheels. So as you can see, I'm just gonna bring up the volume on deck A, and as you can see, that moves. I'm gonna go ahead and press play. And as you can also see, we've got some sound coming through, so that's all working perfectly fine. So if I bring the volume up a little bit more, so a lot of people have problems when it comes to mapping the actual mixer. So I'm going to bring up the low, and as you can see, it actually moves all the way on the low. If I was going to go all the other way to completely kill the bass, it does the exact same thing. Same with the mid. Bring up the mid. We can also bring down the mid. And we can also do the same with the high. And the trim also works. Now also, sadly to mention that even though the Pioneer DJ comes with full EQ, infinite EQ, unfortunately you can still hear just a little bit of the volume. Obviously if you bring down the trim, which if you do anyway, you're completely killing the volume on your track, but even if you have it just off a little bit, it still completely kills the volume. So we don't have infinite EQs with this mapping, unfortunately. I mean, you could probably tinker around with the sound settings just a little bit, but I've had no luck so far. So also the pitch fader. So I'm going to decrease it and I'm going to increase. So that all works perfectly fine. Also the master volume here in the middle. That all works perfectly fine. The cues also work. So as soon as I got the cue in, as you can see, I've got the cue pressed in there, and it also lights up on the actual software itself. So if I wanted to cue with the cue button by the play button, will that actually work? Of course it will. The only thing that doesn't work, as I said, is the platters, and you don't get the infinite kill with the EQ. So a lot of people also had problems, from what I've seen, well, there isn't that many videos on YouTube about this, but a lot of people have problems with mapping the ones with the needle search. But as you can see, the needle search is working 100%. And it's also the exact same on deck B. Alright, and another thing, the effects. So if you just look up at the effects bar there, I've got it assigned to the effect select. So at the moment we've got it on Mobius saw. Now it's on Mobius try, low cut echo, delay, echo, spiral, reverb, reverse delay, MT delay, up echo, down echo, trans, pan, filter, flanger, phaser, and slip roll. So the effects do actually work themselves, and I'm going to show you now. So obviously when you're using the Pioneer DDJ-S1, to turn on the effect, after you've selected it, you're going to press the on button here and the off button obviously to turn the effect off. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put on, we'll leave on slip roll for now. So I'm going to go and press deck A. Okay, and I'm going to turn the effect on. And as you can see, that completely works. Now unfortunately, the parameter, which is supposed to control that little one that you see beside that little knob that's moving right there, that's supposed to control the parameter of the effect, but I can easily just do that by moving my mouse across and increasing the value. So if we leave it on 4, now I'm going to bring in the effect again. You can hear it there. And also now I was going to change the effect again to, we'll say, stick on a bit of flanger. So as you can see, the effect is completely killed off. Bring it in nice and slowly. So we're gonna go along and press deck B, and we're gonna show you that the crossfader is also working. I'm gonna press deck B, and as you can see, everything works perfectly fine. I'm gonna go bring it straight across the back again. You can see I can flawlessly. So as you can see, I can just flawlessly bring the crossfader from one deck to the next. Also, just to let you know that the head queuing to queue your mix, that also works. So you've got your function in the middle, obviously for your queue, just to go through your queue, to have it while you're mixing, or just go directly from your master. All that fully works. Also the headphone volume, that also works. So what's also cool is the search function. So let's say now if I wanted to put the Rekordbox demo track and I load it onto deck A, I just press deck A, demo track 1 loads up. If I go on down onto demo track 2 and load it onto deck B, and as you can see, that completely works. We'll bring in number deck 2. So the search function also works. Okay, so I haven't been able to get the crates, the files, the browse, or the prepare buttons up at the top to map properly as of yet. As soon as I figure that out, I will add a updated link to the mapping that I've done for you guys. You're also probably going to notice as well that on deck A side, the load A button stays lit up, and the hotkey 1 on deck B stays lit up. Now, for some reason, this is just what happens. It's happened ever since I've done the mapping, but it doesn't affect it in any shape or form. I can't even shift and turn it off, but there's a couple of things obviously that I need to work on, which would be the crates, files, browse, and prepare buttons up at the top, and also to get the hotkeys to work. Okay, so apart from the fact that I have been able to get the crate, file, browse, or prepare buttons up at the top there to work, or the hotkeys down on each side, 1 to 5 on deck A and B, you can technically take this out on the road and start gigging with it. You have the parameter for the effects, they're all working perfectly fine. Obviously with the jog wheels you can't use your jog wheels, so you will need to obviously bring a mouse with you, or you can just simply use the needle search functions up at the top, which also are working. Now you'll probably notice from time to time, um, you probably get like the load deck A button that's lit up on the deck A side, and you'll get the hotkey button on deck B lit up. Sometimes it both happens on just the A side, or sometimes you just have it on the B side. It doesn't affect the actual function of the load button, it just, for some reason, it just lights up. So apart from that, that is everything that's 100% still working. Once I've got the little bits that I need to also get done mapping, which would be the hotkeys on deck A and B, also to assign the crate files, browse, and prepare buttons up at the top. And obviously the loop functions in and out. Once all that's perfectly mapped up, it should do the job. So once all that's done, what I'm going to do for you is I'm going to update the MIDI file which I've currently uploaded for you guys. Also, just to let you know, the microphone functions also work directly within the software, obviously because the software doesn't actually control the mic 1 or mic 2 since it's a hardware built in. So that will literally go directly into your output. Okay guys, so as you can see, the Pioneer DDJ-S1 behind me does work with Rekordbox DJ. Either the Pro or the free trial edition is the exact same, but with the Pro obviously you're getting more of the features unlocked within the software. So one issue that I have noticed when it came to the mapping process, when it came to trying to figure out how to map the jog wheels, I thought maybe it would work, but sadly it didn't. Every time it came to, as I said, mapping the jog wheels, I just moved the jog wheel when it came to the mapping process so it would detect the MIDI code. And it said that the MIDI code was already assigned, so I searched through every single mapping code that matched what was coming up, and I couldn't find anything matching that MIDI number. So I think what Pioneer have done there is possibly locked you out. So they want you to go along and buy one of their higher end controllers. But as you see, it works right now, minus the jog wheels. The crate file buttons up at the top by the scroll wheel, and also the hotkeys on deck A and deck B 1 to 5. They haven't been mapped yet, but this is a foot in the right direction. I've spent at least 6-7 hours to get everything to work properly, and to make sure that everything works when you actually press the buttons. Because what's happened is, when it came to mapping the actual software itself, the controller with the software, once it's saved, it some of the buttons went back to their original default, so nothing saved. It's like the file got corrupted, or nothing just mapped properly. So I spent hours and hours going back over the whole process again and making sure it did actually save. So apart from those little mishaps, this is a step in the right direction. You can go out and pretty much use it. Obviously it's going to suck without the jog wheels, but until Pioneer release an actual update within Rekordbox DJ for the S1, the jog wheels will not be working anytime soon, sadly enough. Apart from that, everything else is working, like the effects. You don't have infinite kill on the EQ. As you could hear, there is still a little bit seeping through. I've tried even adjusting it with the trim, but if you take off too much of the trim, you're not actually going to hear the track coming out at all, even if you do bring up the master. But the main point is that you got it all there. You can use it pretty much for a gig. Obviously, you're not going to be using it for a big club gig because you're going to want access to your hot cues. You might want to completely kill out some of the effects by using the high, mid, and low. So apart from that, everything pretty much does work. As you saw for yourself, I'm going to leave a link to everything down in the description box below, to the mapping in the description box below. So if you have a DDJ-S1 and you want to map it, check out the mapping down below. Hopefully everything works with you. If you have any issues, just drop me a comment down below as well. Hopefully I can get back to you. Okay guys, so if you like this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Either way, a thumbs up would be great. It's going to help me out a lot. And also hit that bell notification so you know when I'm going to upload next. And also feel free to subscribe. It costs you absolutely nothing. If you have any questions whatsoever on the mapping, please leave it down in the comments box below also, and I will respond back to you hopefully within the first 24 hours. So on that note, I'm going to leave it there. Practice and enjoy, and I'll see you on the next one.